Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Animate Orange, where I built a lot of 3D metal models and show you how I do it. And you've probably already guessed by the title what this video is going to be about. On the table today, or on the table for the next, I don't know, couple of weeks maybe, is a rather large model that I've been looking forward to getting one of these types of models, and I finally got it. Let me quit beating around the bush. I have here, it's not Metal Earth, this is from MU. I have a big giant transformer here to build. I have Megatron. This, look at this, I can hide behind this thing. This is a big model and something that I've been wanting to do. There's an Optimus Prime version and it's been out for a while. This is fairly new and very recently came out, and I decided to start with this one. And this one is going to be a while. I think there's 9 sheets in here. I can't really read it all that well, and Google Translate is only so much help. I've got the little app on my phone, and it kind of keeps skipping around what it actually says. But you know what? The best way to find out, and I've said it before, let's open this thing up, see what all is inside of here. And I'm thinking, before I do that, this one is going to be a large build, and I haven't opened it up yet, but I know it's going to take me a while. So what's probably going to happen with this, as you've seen with some of the larger builds, I tend to split them up, and that's probably what's going to happen with this. This one is probably going to be one that I work on in pieces and work on some other stuff in between, and just let this one take a while. So there's probably going to be a multitude of videos, maybe a video on this leg and this arm. I'm not really sure exactly how I'm going to put this together, but I'm going to build this, take my time, and try to build this carefully in pieces, and I may end up taking breaks from it to work on other stuff and coming back to it. So this is what's probably going to happen. I've given it some thought, but that could change. Anyway, I'm going to open this thing up and let's see what's inside. This is going to be awesome and really big when it's done. Let's go to the table. You know, normally for this part I have to zoom in, or I choose to zoom in a little bit to get a better picture, but this thing is so big I'm zoomed all the way out. Wow. Let's see. Looks like this is a box inside of a sleeve here. Been so tempted to open this up the past couple of days, but I have restrained myself until now. There's my little cutty knifey thing. Here we go. Because it's got some tape on it. Here's the inside. Shanghai Art Model Electronic Technology Company Ltd. Oh. So if you don't know, if you don't already know, or you haven't seen a video, MU is another company, I believe somewhere in China or some oriental area, that makes these models, and they seem to have a license, at least in that country, for the Transformer models. They're not really for sale in the US, but you can get them through things like AliExpress, and that is what I have done here. They have a number of Transformer models, as well as some other interesting models to put together, some other larger models. And this is my first, no, is this my first one? I can't remember if I think Optimus Prime is an MU model as well, so this will be my second one, I think. Even I get a little confused sometimes what's out there. And this is heavy. Here we go. Oh boy. What do we have inside? I don't know. Look. They have little finger gloves. That's pretty cool. It's very nice of them to include that. I have tried using gloves before, and it didn't work out for me. Although I may give these a try and see how that happens. Oh, there's a little neat little playing card or collector's card. Check that out. Optimus Prime. And on the back, looks like we have the QR code. Oh, excuse me. Upside down there. Make sure I wonder if that QR code will even work. Probably won't take me anywhere because it'll probably try to load up a foreign website. There we go. What's going to happen? It's trying to load. Uh-oh. Yeah, it takes me somewhere. You can't read it. But yeah, it brings up a website. I'll have to check that out later, because right now I want to work on this model. And we have a catalog. Check this. Oh my. Let's flip this around. Good gracious. There's a nice thick book with, looks like, directions or instructions in it. Oh, it's got things in English as well as Chinese. And we have the metal part numbers. So that's 1, 2 sheets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 sheets. 7, 8. Looks like 8. Did I miscount? Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lots and lots and lots of parts. So each sheet looks like it has a letter. Yeah, interesting. So we have A and B. Because if you notice, there's a 1 in B, a 1 in A. There's a C, there's a 1 here, there's a D, there's a 1 here. Like the start at the top corner. So I guess as we're looking for parts, very similar to a Metal Earth model or any other model that I've done, in this case, instead of just the number, it looks like we're going to have to go by letter as well. Which is cool, because then you don't have these enormously high numbers. I'm not going to be looking for part 987. And it will be really cool to be able to go and look. It's somewhere on sheet G, or it's somewhere on sheet H, rather than, oh, which one of these mini sheets is it? So nice that they've done that. And then this looks to be the start of the whole assembly flowchart with part A15. Interesting that they start with part A15, but whatever. So A15, shape and add on, let's see, here's B31, and that gets shaped and added on here. Here's B12, here, C6, here, yeah. So same kind of setup. Follow the arrows, little sub-assemblies. Jump down to here, just, yeah, looks like it's pretty much the same flowchart. How many pages? Let's see here. Looks like pages are numbered 4 of 44, 5 of 44, so page 5 of 444 pages. Yeah, that looks like this is a 444 page booklet. Actually, yeah, 43, 44. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna, I'm not gonna go through every single page, but it looks like it just continues to go through the building process. This one's going to take me some time. Good gracious. Challenge. And I'm guessing you get all the way here, and I suppose sections come together. You've assembled all the different pieces. Looks like you've got the main body part and a leg coming together. And a hip piece. Ooh, excuse me. What that yawn is for? Another leg, another hip piece. And then the top section comes down, and there you go. So I guess you get to, within all of this, you assemble an upper body section, you assemble a midsection, a couple of little hip areas, and a couple of legs, and then on the very last page it all comes together. Wow. Wow, that's quite impressive. So let's put this aside and look at the sheets. There's one sheet. There's a small sheet. Interesting. Excuse me. So there's another small sheet. Alright. It's a big sheet. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets so far. 5, 6, 7, the heater's coming on, and 8. Alright, so I thought it said 9 sheets. I was wrong. I don't know what that says, but there's 8 sheets, and then a lot of extra room in the bottom. Neat. Interesting little bits and pieces in here. Bending surface, texture surface, non-texture surface. Change the angle of the buckle properly before installation. Take finger cots before assembly. I'm taking them. Metal plate with serial number. Red number on the non-textured surface. Some parts have spare parts. Fitting method 1. Put the tab in the slot, bend properly, P1. Fitting method 2. Put the tab in the slot, bend the tab vertically with pliers. Bend and twist, basically. Structural slot. Structural tab. Bending line. Oh, it looks like the tab has a bit of a knob on it. Okay. So this metal feels a little lightweight from what I'm accustomed to, but fairly stiff. But yeah, I'm looking at the tabs. There's no notches on the tab. That picture makes it look like these tabs have weird little notches on them. But I feel I might have to be a little careful with this metal. It comes down to it. So yeah, in case I get confused, there's F right there. Yay! That's a big sheet. And you see we've got the red, got sort of a dark gray. Oop, got my finger catching on parts. Got some yellowish, sort of orangish colors. Yeah, it's very colorful. Yellowish, orangish, very colorful pieces. And this is sheet. Where is it at? This is sheet H. Da, da, da. So I'm going to carefully clean this up and try to organize this and figure out exactly how I'm going to get started. Let's take a moment to talk about tools. This is a very basic set of tools that I use in pretty much every build. I've got a very standard set of tweezers that I use very frequently. I've got some precision tweezers, another flat set here, and a couple of pointed tweezers, one of which I've ground the tip down just a bit to make it a little flatter for grabbing tabs. I have clippers that I use to get the parts off of the sheets quickly and easily. It's better than bending and trying to break them off. And then a couple of different pliers, a flat nose set and a long needle nose pliers set. They come in handy for bending in different situations. When it comes to shaping rounded parts, there are many options. I used dowel rods for a long time. I sharpened the ends of 2 of them with a pencil sharpener. These 2 are great for making cone shapes. Another option is a cheap drill bit set. This set has quite a few different sizes to choose from. Another option is a set of step mandrels. I have a sculpting set here that I occasionally use, and they have all kinds of different shaped ends on them. Some flat, some angled, some spoon. There's a couple of hooks. They're useful for reaching in and bending and pushing and pulling tabs and shaping parts from the inside. As usual, it helps to bend tabs so that they point towards the next connection slot. Parts like these, where the tabs are at angles, are great examples. One of the tabs on the fist went inside where I can't twist or bend it. I started to try and fix the issue so that the tab would be visible and accessible, but I decided to leave it since there were several other tabs holding things together. I closed this last part up a little too soon. It's interesting how this thumb part wraps around. It seems at first like it might be a tough add-on, but the tabs fell right into place. The instructions warned to be mindful of the placement of these parts, and I could easily see the difference on the smaller inside part, but I did not notice the more subtle difference on the larger part. It seemed symmetrical at the time. There are two small areas where other pieces attach on the larger piece that I did not notice. I twisted two of the tabs holding this part on, but folded over the other two because there was another slot right beside those tabs and slots. I didn't want a twisted tab getting in the way of something else. I keep getting a little mixed up with this part and folding it wrong. I'm going to kind of skip forward and not show several times how to shape the same part or duplicate parts. The instructions had me a tad confused at first here. I thought the half piece was supposed to attach near the corner and couldn't find this half. I was pretty blown away at how simple this worked. Be sure to check that you are orienting the parts correctly. I am folding this tab the wrong way at first to hold things together. I had a real adventure with this section. I originally wanted to add all the long inside pieces to that one side and twist the tabs, then close the other end over the tab, and voila. It just doesn't work like that. The parts want to keep twisting and falling off, and lining up all those tabs at once, what a nightmare. After a few failed attempts, I ended up bending the inside parts to squeeze them into place. Not the best result. The strips are a bit crooked, but at the time I could not think of any better way to do it. Part H115 really threw me for a loop. When I found H115 on the sheet, the part looked nothing like what is pictured in the directions or what would fit in that area. It took some looking, but it turns out there are two parts on the H sheet labeled 115. One is on the right side of the sheet, not too far from the bottom, and not the 115 we are looking for. The other 115 that I am looking for is on the very bottom of the sheet and a little left of center. It took a few tries to get that one center tab to line up and into place. I had to bend a couple of tabs a little more out of the way here to allow room for the two parts to fit together. And that brings us to the end of part one. This is such a large build, this Megatron model, that I'm going to have to end up splitting it up into sections. This is the end of part one, and we have built Megatron's left arm. Left if you're looking for Megatron's point of view, right if you're looking at Megatron, but his arm is done and complete, and the amount of detail involved in this model is just amazing, which is what I expected, and I am not disappointed. This is a large model, it's a time-consuming model, it's an expensive model, but it is so far quite worth it. This is the arm alone, and it's got so many little bits and pieces of detail involved in it in different colors. Just the fist alone, each finger is a separate part, and that's just wonderful. And I think probably my favorite part of this arm is right here, and it may be difficult to see, but there are two sort of canister pieces under here with gold tips on the end under a grill piece. They are almost unnoticeable at first, but just that level of detail buried down inside of there is just really amazing. And the red and the blue coloring with the silver joint is just, I'm pleased, very pleased. I don't want to say blown away, because I was kind of blown away when I saw the model, but I'm not disappointed having put it together. This took me over 3 hours, and I say over 3 hours Normally how I time myself is by counting up the time that I left the camera running. Because this is such a long build, what I started doing is stopping or pausing the camera while I was clipping out parts. And I normally include that in the build time because you have to spend time clipping out the parts. Well, I didn't record all of that because it takes up a lot of hard drive room, honestly, in such a long build. This is going to eat up my whole computer just working on this one project. So what I recorded was 3 hours, so it took more than that if you include the time it took to find all these little parts between, what is it, 8 different sheets. It took a while. Still though, well worth it. The way some of these parts come together, like this section here, the way things just kind of attach and flip and snap together, just brilliant. The fingers, I'm just really loving the different details and the way the parts come together and attach, and the complexity of it. It's just superb. I'm just sitting here staring at it, loving it. So I've looked over the instructions kind of to give you a preview, and the way this runs is you build the one arm, which I've done, and then you build the other arm and gun, and you build the upper torso section with the gun piece on his back, and those three come together, and that's one big section. And then you build the lower torso and hips. You build one leg, and then you build the other leg, and at the very end, those three sections, or the upper section with arms, the midsection, and the 2 legs come together, along with a couple of hip plates that you build somewhere in the process. I'm not exactly sure. So what I've decided to do, because this is going to be a long build, I've spent 3 hours on one arm. I can only guess this is going to be over 10 hours worth of building. Is split it up. Each video is going to be a section, like one arm and then the next arm and then maybe the upper torso and that coming together, maybe one leg and then the other leg, and then probably a video of the big pieces coming together, and me talking more about the model. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I'm going to split it up somewhere along those lines, and we'll see as I build it, and probably work on some other things in between, just so I'm not spending 2 weeks worth of time just working on one model, because I want to keep things varied on this channel and try to address some other requests that have been made and some other models that I have. But take this one piece at a time, and also that will keep me from getting burnt out on just one model constantly. Maybe, I don't know, it seems like a good idea. Well, that's how I'm going to do. I'm very much looking forward to building the rest of it. Here's part 1. As they used to say, stay tuned for part 2, 3, 4, and however many parts. I can't exactly say for sure. But I will continue to work on this model, and I've got just another preview. Optimus Prime is coming. That should be coming in the mail soon, and some other interesting things, but one step at a time. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you very much for the support of viewers like yourself through both Patreon and Ko-Fi, who have made this model possible through donations of viewers. I was able to buy this kit and am now putting it together. Thank you very much. I'm very much enjoying it. I'm hoping you enjoy it as well. As always, thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.